One of the forgotten lines of The Princess Bride, and there I go talking about The Princess Bride again, but one of the forgotten lines doesn't have the panache of "you killed my father, prepare to die," is television is what books used to be called. I love books. I love reading. I've read probably all of Agatha Christie's mysteries. I like Stephen Donaldson, and I've discovered other people do as well. I like Margaret Macmillan and her histories. And then, of course, there are the sacred books and sacred writers that I love. C.S. Lewis, anything that he writes, and I probably read the Chronicles of Narnia through every second year, though I did have problems with his Pilgrim's Regress. That was a slog through. But Richard Foster's Celebration of Discipline, anything by Henri Nouwen or Philip Yancey. But there was one book that I heard of and that I never was able to get hold of. Now, Cindy and I used to, or whenever we have the opportunity, go through used bookstores. And one time when we were in London, we just stumbled upon a store and walked in. Didn't expect to find anything, but there it was, Richard Niebuhr's Christ and Culture. I'd heard about the book when I was at Canadian Nazarene College, and it intrigued me, but it was out of print. You couldn't even get it on Amazon. But there it was, £6 for Christ and Culture. And what a fascinating book. Niebuhr suggests that there are 5 ways that Christians interact with society or culture. Briefly, he suggests that Christ is against culture, that sin resides in the world, and that the worldly culture should be rejected. That Christ is of culture, that the gospel should be interpreted according to the current ideas of society. That Christ is above culture, that Christians live in the material world but seek to live above it. That Christ and culture are in paradox. The spiritual and the material world oppose each other while we both live in it. It's difficult to explain, and it's difficult to understand. But that Christ is the transformer of culture. Through Christians, Christ is holistic redeemer. Now, I believe that we are called to be involved in our world, not to hide from it, not to be against culture, not to accommodate to it, to be of culture, not to think that we're better of it, to be above culture, not to give up because of the contradictions between this world and the spiritual world and culture, but to be part of culture, to be redemptive healing in all facets of our lives, in all facets of our world, the physical, the spiritual, and the social, to involve ourselves and to invest ourselves in the world in which we live, in the people who we meet, and to let them know of God's love through word and through deed. We tell people about the love of God, and we show people the love of God through our compassionate lifestyles and our compassionate actions. To do this, we are the church. Take time to think about how you will do this once you are freed from your exile of isolation. Listen to God as He helps you become what He wants you to become.